Welcome, everybody. This is your teacher, Julian Marin, and today we're going to review Martes de Prueba number 8 for the 8th grade in the year 2025. Thank you very much for watching. Now I'm going to share my screen so we can focus on the test that we're going to review today. Okay, as always, what we will try to do is to evaluate general terms overall what kind of exercise we're going to develop. So over here first, as I told you, this is 8, a test or Martes de Prueba this year for 8th grade. And then over here we have a text, right, with some paragraphs. Got the reference over here. And then we got 5 questions. And these questions are, of course, reading comprehension questions. And we have 3 options per each. Okay, so over here, very simple, We're going to read the text, and then we're going to start evaluating one question at the time, and also analyzing which would be the best option for each of those, and why, right? They would be the best. Let's start by reading. Most of the times, these readings are selected with the intention to catch the attention of the reader. So you're going to find a pattern that the text will be interesting, bringing information that would be also appealing for the reader. Okay, so let's start. Did you know that English is the most widely spoken language in the world? It's the first language for almost 372.9 million people, and the total number of English speakers around the world is about 1.4 billion. English is derived from West Germanic languages, which originated from Old Frisian, Old English, and Old Saxon. It came to Britain when Anglo-Saxon migrants arrived in the 5th and 7th centuries Anno Domini. Later, in the following centuries, the English language was impacted by different cultures and languages, such as Latin, French, Dutch, and Afrikaans. The English alphabet is derived from the Latin script alphabet, which was first used by ancient Romans. It has 26 letters, both uppercase and lowercase forms. Old English was first written down with the Latin alphabet in the 7th century. Over time, some letters were added or removed, and by the 16th century, the current set of 26 letters had mostly settled. The words that are misspelled in the dictionary are called ghost words because they have no meaning. This happened because of printing errors made by printers. For example, a word called door stayed in the dictionary for 8 years in the mid-20th century until it was removed in the next revised edition. Okay, so first, we already have finished the first part of the reading. Let's remember that these exercises, they come with very specific challenges and characteristics. One of the aspects that we need to take into consideration is time, because we cannot just use the time that we would like to, to, to check and double check and read and reread the text. And this is intentional too, so we can also develop our reading comprehension, meaning that with one time reading, we can answer the questions. Okay. But anyway, this is a training exercise. We can take the time if we want, especially to analyze the options and also evaluate which or what strategies we could use in the future, taking the state test for our benefit. Okay. So let's start over here. I'm going to leave questions 21 and 22. Let's say 21 and 22. Let's, let's see. We can see questions 21, 22, and 23. Let's answer this. Okay, so question 21 says, besides coming from old European languages, what other influence did the English language have? Option A, traditions brought basically from Africa. Okay, this is a trick because yes, they mention Afrikaans, which is um, the language, right? Ancient language. But no, that's not what they said. Anyway, let's evaluate the other two options before we start canceling or choosing a correct answer. B, mainly sociological facts from France. So again, is a trick because yes, they mention French, they mention Afrikaans, but they don't mention specifically directly the culture and their impact. So I will cancel A and B, but let's say what we have in C. It says multicultural approaches and languages. This is the one that I would choose. Why? Because they mention in the text not only the different languages, but also the different cultures with that had an impact in the development of this language. Let's continue with question 22. What phenomenon contributed to the development of the English language? Okay, so over here we got three options. This is a tricky one. I'll tell you why. First, immigration. Immigration. B, migration. And C, transportation. I will cancel transportation because, I mean, even though implicitly it could be suggested, it's not really mentioned in the text. But yes, they do mention this phenomenon they're talking about. First, they talk about migrants. They say it came talking about the language contributed development. Over here, they mentioned that when the Anglo-Saxon migrants arrived in the 5th and 7th centuries, Anno Domini. So this word is key because yes, they were migrants, so they have to migrate, right? But it is key the word arrived because it locates us in a geographical place, right? So where did it arrive? To England, essentially, to the territory of England. So you could say both migration because they migrated from their lands, and immigration because they entered. If I have to choose, I will choose A because the impact was made to the culture they arrived to, right? And also, I will suggest it would go there because I will suggest this is the answer because of the word arrived. That sets us like in a specific place. As I told you, this is a tricky question. 23. What effect did time have on the development of the English language? Okay. So over here, I'm gonna have to move. I'm gonna have to move so we could see the section of the text where it is mentioned. So we got 23, right? 20. And it says, what effect did time have on the development of the English language? So we got the options. A, the admission or record of words. B, the admission of the old expressions. And C, changes in its original alphabet. Over here, I got it right here. Okay. Over time, this is the place what I believe is the key to the answer to this question. Over time, some letters were added or removed. So the question, what effect did time have on the development of the English language? A. Admission or record of words. B. The admission of oral expression. And C. Changes in its original alphabet. I believe this one is the correct answer. This is the one that I suggest because essentially admission or canceling of words, that is essentially it. Changes in the original alphabet. Let's continue with question 24. The case of the word "dort," which is exemplified in this specific paragraph, is an example of what? A. The steadiness of the English language means stays equal. B. Language impairments be caused by errors. Okay? And C. How a mistake can improve a language. Um, Now, impairment is a synonym or describes being diminished or weakened, like affecting in the quality of the language. So that is something we should clarify before we make a decision. So steadiness, no, is not a good option because actually it's the opposite. Language can change, and these kind of errors are an example of that. B. Language impairments caused by errors. This is a logical one, but let's evaluate C. How a mistake can improve a language. So, as a matter of fact, this is the opposite because the mistake didn't improve the language. So, I believe the correct answer would be B, and that's the one I will suggest. Okay, now we're going to erase this one so we can move and see the three options of question 25. Let's see. Question 25. Why does the English language have something called ghost words? Okay, it is mentioned in the last paragraph. A. Because they believe in ghosts and phenomena. Because they believe in ghosts, phenomenon, okay, so the options are because they believe in ghosts, phantoms, and scripts. So this one is not a very good option, but it's just a trick. B, because human mistakes affect the use of words. Okay, mistakes, but probably not the use. This one probably is a tricky question, but let's evaluate the last option because these words have meaning and translation. Of course, they don't have meaning, and I believe that is mentioned. They have no meaning, so this is the opposite, right? So the correct answer will be B, because human mistakes affect the use of words, okay? So with this, we're finishing this review. Um, I will thank you again for watching. I will invite you to click on like, subscribe, and promote so other people can benefit from this message. Thank you very much. I hope to see you in the future occasion.